Okay, for Coach Knowles, to the left, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Jim, just the job you guys did stopping the run from the beginning tonight, especially on first down, not letting Minnesota kind of get into what it wanted to do. How instructive or how important is that momentum in that capacity going into next week?
Yeah,
Last question for Jack.
That's a big deal. We've been, much better in our coverage and defending the explosives in the pass game. I felt like over the past few weeks we've given up a couple things in the running game. So, it was really important for us to, make a showing in the running game to keep getting better.
Over here to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Jack Sawyer was all over the place today. Was this as good as you've seen Jack play since you've been here at Ohio State?
Yeah, Jack's been on a great streak. He's really embraced his role. He's consistent. He understands the scheme. He knows when he can take chances. He's been really effective in the running game, which I think sometimes goes unnoticed. But he's just a guy we count on, and he's a stalwart for the defense.
Okay, and this last question in the back there for Jack Sawyer, please. Over here to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Jim, you mentioned Jack being on a great streak. Is there something maybe different you've seen from Jack in recent weeks where he's taken his game to another level?
No, Jack's always been a great team guy, but I see just a steely-eyed focus. He's a nice young man. Really is. But he's turned into a cold-blooded gentleman, which is what we like.
Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
First of all, what do the opposing field goal kickers have against you guys? Kicking 53, 54-yard field goals. But seriously, you guys have waited, you personally especially, 52 weeks for a chance at this game again. How much anticipation is there? How much confidence is there? However you'd want to describe your feelings going into that game.
We're gonna digest this one. Obviously, look for the things that we can get better at from this game. I think that's important. And it's a build. It's a build, and it's going to be a build starting tomorrow. And obviously, I'm sure the guys are going to be ready, and we've come to count on our defense, and it needs to remain that way.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch, and then Katie Kapusta.
This will be the second week where Spill said they make a 50-yard field goal and your chances of a shutout are spoiled. Is that something that you guys cared about, having a shutout, having a zero on the scoreboard, the fact that it's been elusive, or do you look at the defensive performance and a lot of other things that tell the story?
Yeah, I think the game, tells the story. It's obviously nice to get it if you can, but more importantly, we look at all the situations, and we break those down. So it is what it is.
Over to the right, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Jim, you never really got a chance to see Jordan healthy in this defense last year. How much of a difference does he make? Is he making right now because of how versatile he is in that second?
Yeah, Jordan's been just a huge plus for us, to have a cover skills corner who's also willing to mix it up in the run game. I mean, you've seen him. He's willing to get dirty. He attacks the run game. So it's really given us an added dimension.
Over to the left, Katie Kapusta, Spectrum 1.
Jim, you talk about building up to next week. There's been so much buildup, especially on the defensive side, from what happened last year. How do you think this defense compares in terms of being ready for this big game, especially considering these last couple performances?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about confidence, defense. And playing defense at this level is a lot about confidence. So when you can show them things, that we've done well here this season, and how that matches up to what we're going to do, it certainly beats any talk. Experience is a great teacher, and we have it now. Where we can be counted on.
Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Jim, you guys make it pretty clear that you guys are focused on one thing, one game at a time, 1 week at a time. So I'm not asking you about next week. But from week 1 to week 11, particularly the back end of the defense, how much better do you feel about this group here toward the end of the season compared to where you were at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think we all feel better, you know, when you're playing in the back end and getting your hands on passes and contesting routes and being in the right position and on top when you're supposed to be on top. And, you know, you see the numbers and the explosive plays. I mean, that tells the story. It's just something that gives everybody confidence. It gives the whole team confidence.
Over to the left, Jeff Gilbert, Press Pros.
You talked about Jack, steely-eyed, focused. How much of this season do you feel like all 11 guys that are out there at any one time are really focused on that? And has that been something that's built and you're there now, or are you still trying to get there?
We're always trying to get better, but I felt like I saw it in the first game. You know, I thought that was a big deal. You know, come out in the option and guys are able to adjust, and then you saw it over the course of the season with, you know, some good things in the red zone and some tight games and guys not flinching. So, yeah, it's been a build since the first game, but there's been a focus since last spring, you know, including myself, to make sure that we can be counted on, you know, and making the changes and adjustments that are necessary to win the matchup games.
Got time for just a couple more. Tim May podcast.
Yeah, Coach, you may have been asked this before I came over here, losing another shutout by a 50-something yard field goal. How much of a bummer is that? And then number two, this game is coming up this week. It's been hanging out there for a long time for you, I would think, and stuff. But what are you already thinking about it? The challenge.
Yeah, we talked about the shutout. I mean, that's not a bummer. You know, hats off to the kid. He made a long field goal. We look at the situations. We evaluate our performance and you know, series by series, play by play, and yeah, I mean, it's certainly the overall defense, you know, has been on my mind since last year, of course, of how we can be better, you know, in these matchup performances. You know, we've already had a couple, and we got to build off that and be at our best.
Great. And last question for Coach Knowles. Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. Just
Jim, are all end zone celebrations created the same? In other words, do you just look the other way sometimes, or are they all teaching moments?
No, you don't look the other way. Certainly, you know, we've talked to the guys about celebrating on the sidelines. We want them to celebrate, but you don't look the other way. I mean, that's something that can hurt you, you know, in a future performance, and we'll eliminate that.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.